Hello, and welcome to entry number 1 on this video diary series, where I'll be documenting my progression and journey in the 100 metres as well as the 60 metres in the hopes of achieving a time in the 10 seconds and 6 seconds region respectively. I plan to do these diary entries monthly, where they will consist of the following: the type of training that I do, the sessions I have done, review and analysis of any competitions, how I was feeling throughout the weeks, and anything else significant that happened during that month. However, in this first video, it will just be an introduction and small summary of the structure of my training. My main aim for these diaries is for documentation, as well as a way to track my progression while sharing it with yourselves. I also want to help other people like myself who have been really struggling to run under 11 seconds. I will try to be as specific and as transparent as possible as I can in these videos, so that anyone else who watches them will be able to use them as a template or guideline in order to help them to achieve sub 11 in the 100 metres. For a little bit about myself, my name is Kieran Scroggy, and I am a sprinter based in the UK. I have been sprinting for around 10 years now, and my time has dropped from 14.6 at age 13 to now 11.3 at age 23. I ran 11.3 back in July of 2023. During that race, I received a hamstring injury, and even before then, my two coaches, who I've had since the beginning of my athletics career, unfortunately fell ill. That led me to be without guidance for 8 months. From then, up until around November last year, I had been coaching our sprint group, and also stopped any of my own sprint type training in favour of dedicating time to coaching, as well as improving my work life to find a new job. My reason for putting a hold on my coaching was because I'd realised that my own times were starting to drastically get worse. And as I am now in my 20s, I can't waste the little time I have left as an athlete by coaching. I can always coach later on in life, but my time as an athlete is getting shorter and shorter, and I still have a lot that I want to achieve. Last season was all over the place. For the majority of it, I completely stopped training and solely focused on coaching, which caused my own speed and fitness to completely plummet. It wasn't until near the end of last season that I started to slowly begin training again. However, the quality wasn't the best, and I tried to train and coach at the same time, which just didn't work. I ended up having to do sessions at 5 AM before work, just so I could focus on myself, and then coach later on in the day. I currently work full time, and this means I don't go, nor have I ever been to university. The reason why I bring this up is because of competitions. I'm not able to compete in any university competitions, nor am I able to go to indoor or outdoor books, which is British University Championships. This means that for my level, the best competition I can do will be Northerns, which is against the north of England, and not nationals like books. This also means that the amount of competitions which I will be able to compete in is also smaller than would it have been if I had gone to university. The competitions which I can do are the Manchester Open Meets, Northern Indoors, Mid-Lancs League, Traffic Open Meets, which sometimes overlap with other competitions, Lancashire Champs, and then lastly the Northern Champs. Due to me picking up an injury in late last year, I have had to back out of any indoor competitions. However, I knew it was the best decision to take a step back and focus solely on outdoors, when there was no point in trying to rush back competing when I wasn't even close to being fully fit, and just run some times that I knew I wouldn't be proud of. The competitions which I have left are the Open Meets, Mid-Lancs, Northern Athletics League, Lancashire Champs, which I'm really hoping to medal in the 100, and lastly, Northerns. My goal for Northerns is to make the semis. If I can do that, I can be very proud of myself. There will be many fast runners there. My career goal in athletics has always been to get a gold medal in Northern Outdoors, 100 metres. However, at the moment, I have to focus on making the semis, as I've only done that a handful of times. Unfortunately, my 2025 season has not started the greatest. I managed to get a grade 2 tear in my left calf during my warm-up. I believe it was caused by the hour to an hour and a half journeys I was taking to the old club I was running in. This happened back in late November last year and has only recently started to go away. I can still feel it sometimes in training, so I do have to take a step back sometimes. During that time, I was doing a lot of swimming and cycling on the bike at the gym, just to do some sort of non-weight bearing exercises to keep my fitness up. It has been a tough mental battle to get back into running, as I injured doing high knees, which is an exercise that isn't more of a warm-up all the time, so it was a big confidence, knocked my confidence a lot. However, I am now back to running at about 90% of my training sessions, and I've also switched my training location to be somewhere much closer and more easily accessible to myself. Change in location has done wonders for my mental and physical health. I'm back to getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and my eating patterns are much better. I am so much happier training where I currently am now than I was before. As the athletes I'm training with are both fast and great people to work with. The coach is also full of knowledge, and for the first time in a long time, I have full trust in his training plans. It's such a privilege to be able to turn up to training sessions and just run and listen to a coach. I can focus solely on training and bettering myself, rather than trying to organise a session, coach and form check everyone. I didn't realise how much I missed being an athlete. It's very strange not having to plan my own sessions and to taper for the big comps. Leaving it into the hands of a coach was a weird feeling at first, so I'm very excited to see how I perform this year. This season's approach is very different to previous seasons. We are implementing a training method called triphasic training, which basically means it's split up into 3 different phases, those being eccentric, isometric, and lastly concentric. At this moment in time, we are currently in the isometric phase of our training, which will probably last for another 4 weeks. The main aim of isometric training is to drop down fast and then hold that position for about 5 seconds. At that point, you explode up as fast as you can. The reason we are doing this is because we recruit a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers, which we need as sprinters. Gym work has also been going great, and I'm seeing rapid improvements since first starting this triphasic training, which I'm very grateful for, as gym has definitely been one of the biggest weaknesses which I've come to realise throughout this training period. I'm by far the physically weakest person in our training group. Another thing which I've changed slightly is my diet. I've massively increased my protein intake, as I was never getting enough before, which caused me to be sore and never fully recover from gym and track sessions. Ever since I've been meeting my protein quota, I found myself having more energy than usual and feeling more fresh in the morning, which is subsequently allowing me to take training sessions even harder than before. So if that's something you're struggling with, I highly recommend you start increasing your protein. I started to eat Greek yogurt with 1 scoop of protein powder, almonds, pumpkin seeds, honey, raisins and berries in the morning, which is a very easy thing to eat and make. And then after every training session, I have 1 protein shake on the drive home. My track training has also been going great. The way we structure our sessions are Monday rest, Tuesday fitness session, and this is where we'll be doing our most physically taxing sessions with speed endurance. Wednesday is circuit day. On this day, I usually do the circuit when I get home, and then after, my mate and I go to the sauna for about 10 to 15 minutes, then we spend about 20 minutes in the hydro pool, and then we just repeat that. After the sauna and hydro pool, I stay behind and do about 15 minutes in the foam roller, just to make sure I target any niggles that I have from the previous session. Ever since doing that, I really feel like my recovery has leveled up. I also make sure I'm getting between 8 and 9 hours of sleep a night, because this is where your body does the majority of its repairs, just to minimise the risk of any injury again. Thursday is our speed day, which of course is the most fun. Then Friday is just a gym session with my friends. Our coach usually sends us a list of things to do via text, and we just follow that. Ever since I started going to the gym with my mates, I've found the gym so much easier and much more enjoyable. I've always been one who has struggled with motivation with going to the gym, as I don't find it enjoyable in the slightest. However, now that I do it with my mates, I'm usually really excited for these Friday gym sessions. Saturday is the hill session, and that's only at a very slight incline. And lastly, we end the week on our hard gym session. This is the most consistent amount of volume I've ever done for track. Pretty much every day is us trying to get 1% better, whether it be recovery, training or gym. All the 1% matters, and I hope that it adds up towards the end of the season. Lastly, one small thing which I have been working on is with the way I talk to myself. I would and still do sometimes downplay myself and also talk down to myself and use harsh language. These can subconsciously have an effect on you. So I've changed the language towards myself, and every night before I go to bed, I recite a positive mantra to myself. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health, so in sport, please make sure you aren't neglecting it. Next month is April, and we have 2 comps coming up. One of them being an open meeting in Wavertree, and the second being in Mid-Lancs in Preston. My prediction for my season opener would ideally be 11.8. 11.8 is the fastest I've ever opened a season previously, so if I can equal that, or even better that, I will be really happy. Hopefully it will be a good sign for things to come. My training has been going great and I'm feeling fast, but I know it's still early. We still have a lot of work to do on the track, and especially in the gym. So getting a baseline of 11.8 would be a great time to work off. I'll make sure to record my race and also get some footage of my thoughts before and after as well. I believe that's everything that I want to cover for this first diary entry. I plan plan to record and upload these videos at the start of every month and just making a recap of all my training and competitions for the past 4 weeks. I do hope that you enjoyed this little diary entry and that I see you in the next one. Goodbye.